What's up, guys? Simone Fan 101 here, and I want to get to this before I get to Battleground either tomorrow night or sometime after. Um, this is my review of Ultima Lucha Dos. Now, first of all, just want to get this out of the way. No, it is not as good as Ultima Lucha last year, and I'm including all. Sorry about that. Had spaghetti and chips, but I'm including all parts of Ultima Lucha on here. So week 1, week 2, week 3, all that's on here. Anyways, Ultima Lucha Dos was a pretty good event, but it's not a great event, sadly. Had a couple great matches, but not a great event. We started off Ultima Lucha Dos with on week 1 with the tournament, the Fatal 4 tournament or whatever. We started off with a rematch from last year's Ultima Lucha, and another opening match, I might add. Cage and the Mack in yet another Falls Count Anywhere match because Dario Cueto came out. He's like, wait a minute, you guys knocked it out of the park last year, so we're gonna let you do it this year, and that's exactly what he did. It was a pretty darn good match. Is it as good as last year's match? No, it is not as good as last year's match, but it's still a pretty darn good match, and it's worth checking out. I do think the spot where the Mack hit a frog splash from the top railing to Cage on a table, I think that should have been the finish of the match. That would have ended perfectly. Perfect ending. The next match was a surprisingly good match between Son of Havoc and Texano. Now, Texano's a guy that I think is pretty darn good, but just doesn't get. But in Lucha Underground, doesn't truly get his chances. Although I will say that, even though he may not get the biggest chances in Lucha Underground, he's the AAA champion in Mexico. I think that kind of balances it out. For Del Rio, that was not the case. Now, this was a surprisingly good match. It was a Boyle Heights bar fight. Again, Dario Cueto came out before the match and announced a Boyle Heights bar fight for the match. So, to get some violence out of it. Because, he loves violence. And it was a pretty good match. Of course you can all see my ratings down below, but I thought it was a good match, and I definitely enjoyed it. I just wish it was given more time because I was enjoying it so much. Son of Havoc won, so now on to the final two, I guess, which Dario Cueto came out before the match started and again announced another Falls Count Anywhere match. Believe it or not, and unlike the other Falls Count Anywhere matches that have been on Lucha Underground, you notice that this was for the most part in the ring. I can tell you why, because this match only went 5 minutes long. Originally, this match was actually, and this pisses me off, it was actually a 25-minute 2 out of 3 falls match that got heavily edited due to the 1 hour time slot that Lucha Underground has. God damn it. We missed out on a potentially amazing match. We don't know if it's great or not. But unless they put it on YouTube because Lucha Underground has a habit of putting like dark matches and shit on YouTube. We'll never know. Because unless they put on YouTube, because it got heavily edited to a 5-minute match. So if you're wondering why the match did seem a little bit subpar, and the fact they didn't really go anywhere for the Falls Count Anywhere match, well, simply put, it was not a Falls Count Anywhere match. It was a 2 out of 3 falls match that just went 25 minutes, and which for the little 1 hour time that Lucha Underground has, probably not a good idea to put it that long. Although I will say it's probably one of the longest matches in Lucha Underground history, unedited. along with the Aztec Warfare and All Night Long matches, which has only been 4 of. 2 Aztec Warfares, the best of 6 series, which was that 6-way match between Pentagon, Phoenix, Mundo, Taya, King Cuerno, and Ivelisse, and the All Night Long match with the Iron Man match with Mundo and Puma. But anyways, that kind of sucks. But hopefully we'll get online. As far as the match itself, the edited version of the match, it was okay. Like I said, it was only like 5.5 minutes long, so it wasn't that great. But, it was good. It was decent for what it was. Edited. After the match was over, Dario Cueto came out with 2 briefcases, because, a fatal 4-way tournament for their unique opportunity is what he dubbed it. Cueto announced that he would only have either 1 or 2 decisions. One, he would take one briefcase that has $150,000. No, $250,000, $250,000, or 2, a guaranteed main event title match for the Lucha Underground Championship at next year's Ultima Lucha. Son of Havoc said, "You could give me $250 million. I'm still taking the title shot." So, of course, with most Dario Cueto's unique opportunities, Son of Havoc had to defend his briefcase, so to speak, in a match against Famous B's new client, Dr. Wagner, a legend in Mexico. And I will say, for a guy who's 50 years old, Dr. Wagner is in pretty goddamn good shape. For all I know, the guy could be, on steroids and shit, but he's still in pretty good shape. He moves around, for his age, he moves around a lot younger than he should. But, that's just, Mexican wrestlers. They always go way beyond their age. Just look at Mil Mascaras. But yeah, and as far as the match goes, the match only went 2 minutes. It wasn't meant to be a good or a great wrestling match. It was meant to be, a little bit of like a good spot, like a good, exhibition, a good spectacle, I should say, for the wrestling fans, which makes sense. It just makes total perfect sense, and the caveat was, if Dr. Wagner won, not only would he take the $250,000, but Son of Havoc would not keep his briefcase, the Lucha Underground title shot. He would get nothing. If Havoc won, well then Wagner doesn't get the money, and Havoc gets to keep his title shot. Wagner did win, so there you go. That was the end of week 1. Week 2 was only 2 matches. First it was the Gift of the Gods Championship elimination match. Now, I will say this. From now on, they need to have elimination matches for the Gift of the Gods Championship. I think that would suit the match better, and it would make it better, actually. The 7 participants were... they were Sexy Star, Marty Martinez... I was about to say Ivelisse. Mariposa, Nightclaw, who was making his debut here in his very first match. El Sinestro de la Muerte. Okay, hold on. Sexy Star, Marty Martinez, Mariposa, Sinestro de la Muerte, or El Sinestro, Killshot, Daga, and Nightclaw, who, like I said earlier, made his first appearance in Lucha Underground, and he impressed me, man. By the end of the match, when the match was going on, I was voting for Nightclaw to win the title because he's fucking Nightclaw, and he's awesome. He looked awesome too. So we have 4 pretty darn good to great wrestlers in there, in Killshot, Nightclaw, El Sinestro, and Daga. We have And then we have Marty Martinez, Sexy Star, and Mariposa. Now, I will say this. This is how I see the match. The first half of it was awesome. The second half of it sucked. That's how I view it. Honestly, those first four guys I named, Killshot, Daga, Sinestro, and Nightclaw, those are the first four people to be eliminated. The final three ended up being Sexy Star, Mariposa, and her brother, quote unquote, her kayfabe brother, Marty Martinez. They were the final three, and when we got to the final three, it sucked. The wrestling between them, it was so sloppy. It was bad. It was not good. It was not good at all. I mean, God, why? Why? Why couldn't the final two be, two guys that we actually would have liked? Nightclaw and Daga. Or Nightclaw and Killshot. Or Daga and... Actually, not El Sinestro. He's not at that level yet. But, those three. Those three would have been amazing in the final three. Give them good 10 minutes just to work together like that. That would have kicked all kinds of ass. But no. We had two women and a big guy. Way to go. And don't get me wrong. I am one of the biggest Lucha Undergrounds you will find. I love this show. But this made no sense. Mainly because of A, who the last three are, and B, who won. And of course, C, four other guys who were much more deserving of it. Basically, the final three came down to... And the people who were eliminated first was Nightclaw eliminated El Sinestro with a Spanish Fly. Pretty good move. Nightclaw then eliminated Daga with a Phoenix Star Splash. Is it a Phoenix Star Splash or Phoenix Splash? Go down in the comment section and tell me, because I forget. Then Killshot, I believe, eliminated Nightclaw. I forget how. Oh no, he did I think he did like a package pile driver. I think that's what he did. Like a reverse package pile driver, something like that. Then it came down to Killshot, Sexy Star, and Mariposa and Marty. And when they got Sexy Star isolated, they basically double teamed him. Marty, I hit a move on Killshot, I forget what it was, and then Mariposa hit Killshot with I forget, was it a Gory Bomb? I think it may have been the Gory Bomb. No, it wasn't the Gory Bomb. It was another move. It was that reverse, almost like backslide move. Okay, remember Shane Helms' finisher from WCW and Homicide's finisher from TNA? It was that move. Now, I will admit, it did seem a little bit out of place that a woman using her finishing move on Killshot, eliminated him. I'll give them a little bit of credit here in saying that move probably would have taken anybody out. It would have taken me out. So I'll give them a little bit of credit. They used a move that actually looked realistic. But, God, the final three just sucked so much. I mean, if you look at the final three, watch it from the final three onwards till the end. The wrestling was so sloppy. It was so horrible. It was like, what happened to the first good 10, 12, 15 minutes of the match? It fell off a fucking cliff. That's what happened. Basically, okay, so after a few chain wrestling moves, or a few moves that looked sloppy as shit, Sexy Star eliminated Mariposa when Mariposa held up Sexy Star, and Marty Martinez, basically prepared like a punch. Like, he was like this, and right when he was about to punch Sexy, she moved out of the way and hit Mariposa, and instead Marty hit Mariposa in the face. He got taken out of the ring briefly, Sexy Star pinned Mariposa. Okay, I can kind of I do not understand it because first of all, Marty never used that as a finisher before in his career, at least in Lucha Underground. Second, how does one fucking punch? These women went through war in the No Mas match earlier this year, which by the way was a great match, and Mariposa gets eliminated by a fucking punch to the face. Granted, it was a hard punch, but a punch nonetheless. What the hell's wrong with you? So then it came down to Marty the Moth Martinez, and Sexy Star. Sexy Star eventually got him in a. She tried to do like what Nakamura did with the when he does that the awesome way he gets people into the armbar. Except when she did it, it looked like shit. And she made him tap out with the armbar that looked weak. That part, the first half of the match was awesome. That part from the 3-way on fucking sucked. It was shitty as fuck. It sucked. Period. I mean, and Lucha, and of course, Sexy Star is your new her new God, what was it called? The Gift of the Gods Championship. She's your new Gift of the Gods champion. This makes no sense. And I know what they're trying to do. They're pushing her like a big deal. Like she's a woman that won't take any shit. There's one problem. You can't match Sexy Star up with the men because while it's good, it works. It's like with Stephanie McMahon when she slaps people. It looks good for Stephanie, but it makes everyone else look like raging pussies. Well, same thing here. It works for Sexy Star, but it makes everyone else look like a little bitch. It makes them look like a pussy. It makes them look like they're super weak. I just don't want to even entertain the idea of Sexy Star as champion, but we'll see. Hopefully they take the title off her. Okay, the next match, however, did soothe my wounds. Mil Muertes and King Cuerno in a death match, which to put it in terms, was basically a no holds barred match. Out of all the matches on Ultima Lucha Dos all weeks, this was my favorite match of all of them because it was a lot of fun to watch. It was indeed a lot of fun to watch. It had good wrestling, and good action, good brawling. King Cuerno looked pretty damn good here. So did Muertes, and it was just a lot of fun, and definitely the best match of Ultima Lucha Dos. Mil Muertes won after King Cuerno basically mouthed off to Katrina while holding her like this, like when someone does like this to you, and Mil Muertes came like a bat out of hell. I think he speared him into a table, and then on 3 separate tables he powerbombed him. He picked him up, powerbombed him through one table, dragged him to the other table, powerbombed him through it, dragged him to the third table, powerbombed him through it. I forget what the finish was. I think it was I know what the finish was. Sorry. The finish was actually a tombstone pile driver. Yep, classic Undertaker tombstone pile driver. Which made Mil Muertes look like a complete badass. And that ended in week 2. Week 3 started out, and it was this was the 2-hour show. Week 3 started out first with one of those type of promos that Lucha Underground is known for doing. Basically, Pentagon Jr. is training with Vampiro because at the end of week 2, Vampiro threw his meds in the trash can and said he was going to train a student. Now, Pentagon Jr. Was being trained by Vampiro, and even though he's strong, he's not strong enough to face the monster. So they basically trained. It was like a training segment, but it was a lot of fun to watch with creepy ass editing. And for those of you people who may have epileptic seizures or are susceptible to epileptic seizures, do not watch this promo because you will be in a hospital. You will have a seizure. But the first match of the night was the Trios Championship title match between Mundo, the champions, Mundo, PJ Black, and Jack Evans against the Dream Team, so to speak, of Aerostar, Drago, Drago, and Phoenix. And this was, first of all, this was a good match. This was a pretty good match. But I did have one little problem at the end when the referee was taken out. They at one point they were cheating so much. Like, okay, I get the fact they're cheating assholes, but they all used their trios championships, hit Phoenix right in the head simultaneously, all three of the belts, and somehow Phoenix still kicked out. That seemed a little bit unrealistic to me. Good, it was a good match and big pop for the crowd, but honestly, they shouldn't have done that spot. Maybe if it was like 20 seconds later, okay, yeah, kick out. But it was like 5 seconds later. The referee got in the ring and then counted the 3, and Phoenix kicked out. Now, there was a lot of good action here, definitely. You had a little bit of story going on with the referees not taking any of the shit from the wrestlers because it's like they're asked to use leniency. Basically, the wrestlers can do whatever the fuck they want, and the referee at one point here wasn't having it. Now at one point, so what happened was they were going to go for the finish. This was the finish of the match, which actually I kind of liked. It made sense storyline wise. And Helico came out with 2 crutches, and if you've been watching Lucha Underground lately, you know that Angelico's been gone ever since the night that Son of Havoc and Ivelisse lost the trios titles because there was no Angelico. They didn't have a partner, so they had to wing it solo. So what happened was, basically, the story they're telling here is that Johnny Mundo took Angelico out of the situation so that way he would have a better chance at winning the trios championship and taking the tag team champions, like one of their hot, their hot wrestlers out of commission, the crazy one. Remember, Angelico's the one that does all those crazy ass leaps. But it was indeed a pretty. It was good. I will say that it made sense. Angelico's been gone. He comes back and is like, the reason why Angelico's been gone is because Mundo took him out of commission. He put him on the shelf. And now Angelico came back for revenge. So thanks to that, the winners of the match was the Dream Team of Phoenix, Drago, and Aerostar, which actually makes Phoenix Lucha Underground's first Triple Crown champion. He was first the Gift of the Gods champion, then he was Lucha Underground champion, now he's the Trios champion. Trios Tag Team champion. I like Phoenix's chances of success in the future. I'm getting used to this. So the next match we had Black Lotus and what's his name? Not Matanza, but Dragon Azteca Jr. El Dragon Azteca Jr. And first of all, the match for what it was worth was actually kind of okay. I didn't mind it too much. I kind of and unlike Sexy Star, and unlike a couple of the other women at times, what I liked about Black Lotus is that, 1, she looks like she can kick a fair amount of ass. 2, she didn't straight up hit a lot of moves on Dragon Azteca like he were a dude, or she were a dude. But what happened was Dragon Azteca would make a mistake here and there, and Black Lotus would take advantage. That makes sense. I actually was kind of enjoying this match. Now, what happened was they killed the match about 4.5 minutes in when Pentagon Jr. came in, and super kicked Black Lotus to hell, and hit the package pile driver on Um, I hit the package pile driver on Dragon Azteca. And basically, he cut a long promo. Not a long promo, but he cut a promo, which was actually pretty awesome, with the subtitles at least. And he basically renamed himself. He is no longer Pentagon Junior. Pentagon Junior is dead. He is now Pentagon Dark, because he's wearing a dark mask. So basically, he demanded his Lucha Underground title match now. Now, I will say that I did enjoy this match. There was one big fat problem. They treated Matanza like Matanza was getting his ass kicked throughout much of this match. And then all of a sudden, the last few minutes, he's getting offense and it was a straight up wrestling match. Honestly, if you wanted a good oh, never mind. Whatever. But anyways, Pentagon Jr., I love him. Or Pentagon Dark now. I love him, but he's getting way too much offense. And, way too much offense for my taste. And because I remember later in the match, and I'm going by pure memory here when I'm reviewing this. I didn't write down any notes. So Pentagon was given a barbed wired baseball bat to finish off Matanza after Pentagon at one point had hit a Canadian destroyer or a Mexican destroyer, whatever. And Dario Cueto, who is of course Matanza's manager and the owner of Lucha Underground, got involved. Because of that, Matanza was able to take advantage, hit the not the end of days, but the end of the world. No, the end of the world is Mundo's finish. He hit that spinning power slam or something like that, which for a guy of Matanza's girth, it looks powerful as hell. And Pentagon Jr. lost. That is the thing I find most appalling about this show, was that Pentagon Dark lost. Even though they built this up for a long time, that Pentagon Dark was coming back and that he wanted revenge for what Matanza did to him. He took out Chavo Guerrero in that 6-on-6 match. He won the 6 for all series on that one episode of Lucha Underground, and he's been building up to this match. He even renamed himself. Everything should have been pointing to Pentagon Dark winning. Pentagon did not win. I find that ridiculous. Now, I will say, if this means that we're getting what I hope it means later, then, so be it. So basically, Pentagon, he got incensed, or whatever, because Vampiro came in, tried to, calm his student, but Pentagon shoved Vampiro twice and wanted basically nothing to do with him. So, subtle heel turn maybe, we don't know. At least not at that point in the show. But after that, we had a 6.5-minute match between Taya and Ivelisse. Now, I expected this match to go on longer. This match, for what it was okay. But it needed to go longer because I wish it could have gone longer at least. So what happened here? Well, it was getting good, but about 6 minutes in, the lights went out right when Ivelisse hit the sunset powerbomb, and what do we know? When she's going for the pin, Katrina comes in and hits a devastating a weird looking move. I don't know what it's called. Sorry. But, and Katrina said in a recent interview with the Saw Monster on his podcast show, on YouTube, it's on his YouTube channel, that she felt an itch to get back in the ring. Well, it looks like she wants to get back in the ring. This one, even though I wanted the match to go longer, this part I actually liked, because they've been building up since since season 1, that Katrina and Ivelisse do not like each other. In fact, they hate each other's guts. So, So it kind of makes sense. And even a couple episodes ago, Ivelisse is like, I haven't forgotten, bitch. So now Katrina, I think it was a few weeks ago, the week before Ultima Lucha Dos happened. And, it all made sense. After that, Taya hit, Ivelisse with a Northern Lights suplex and then a double stomp, which, by the way, she needs to jump higher for that double stomp. It looks like a little girl stomping her feet on the ground like she wants her favorite toy. So, yeah, there was that. And hopefully I have enough time here. I don't want to do part 2. So, main event was Rey Mysterio versus Prince Puma. First of all, great match. Great chain wrestling. Not chain wrestling, but great wrestling by these two guys. However, there was one little problem. Prince Puma lost. They were building this match up as the King versus the Prince. The ones on top, the present or the past versus the future, or the present, depending on how you see it. But the problem is Prince Puma lost. Why would Prince Puma lose if he's supposed to be the future of Lucha Libre, supposedly? Well, considering the fact he's not exactly a luchador, he's Ricochet, the high flyer. That's part of it. But still, I don't get it. Why did Rey have to lose? Why did Rey have to win? He should have lost. And by the way, I did like both of the guys' attire. Rey Mysterio had the Lucha Underground sign and Mysterio underneath on the back of his shirt. Prince Puma had different looking gear. He had the red rocks almost with black suits. It's like, think his attire, but all the spots are red like a meteorite, and the suits for the most part is like blackish. So and Prince Puma really should have won, because what happened was after the match was Rey Mysterio left the ring, prodding Prince Puma to stay and, soak in the admiration of the fans. Why didn't he just win? If this was going to be the plan, this really boggled my mind. The booking of week 3 boggles my mind. The first match of week 2 boggled my mind.